For over 15 years, Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated has been a beacon of light, guiding local families through difficult times. Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated proudly provides all families with compassionate choices for professional funeral care at reasonable prices. Get the answers you need 24 hours a day. No answering services, hidden costs, add-on fees, confusing fine print, or those scary-looking contracts. Remember, Gallup Funeral Services owns and operates the only crematory in Dare County, keeping our cremations affordable and convenient. Gallup Memorial Chapel in Bargo, North Carolina is now open and minutes from Moyock and Elizabeth City. From traditional church services and graveside burials to direct cremations and advanced planning, let Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated light the way for your family. Don't be pressured or confused by the other funeral homes. It's always your choice. Choose Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated. Call Courtney at 252-216-8030 to get a plan started today and visit our new website at gallupfuneralservices.com.
Days left for Christmas shopping, 4 days left to fill the stocking. 4 days left for Christmas shopping, only got 4 days more.
1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 shopping days of Christmas. Hurry, 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 or
you'll be sorry.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
News team, assemble!
Joining us live because if you want to know anything about the Outer Banks, Sam Walker's the dude to fill you in.
The sea was angry that day, my friends. Like an old man trying to send back soup in a deli.
Always appreciate talking to you.
Always good stuff with Sam Walker in the Outer Banks.
Now here's Les Nessman and the news.
And good morning, everyone. Welcome to OBX Today Live for December 21st, 2021. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Happy almost winter. Officially, winter begins at 10:59 a.m. Eastern Time. So we're not there yet. Close enough. First day of winter. Coming up on the show, we'll have latest on the situation with COVID-19 here in North Carolina as the governor yesterday holding another press conference. Case counts exploding. With a lot to get to with that. Also, the latest on the QVC fire out in Edgecombe County, and some other stuff to get to. First, we're going to start with the weather, and it's going to get a little windy the next day. Well, it's actually, we're going to a little bit of wind today and tomorrow, but we're not going to be looking at any major issue. Oh, first off, I wanted to show you this. This is from Jane Spahn, who's a great meteorologist down with TV stations in Alabama, and kind of explains what is going on today. This is the winter solstice, the shortest day for the northern hemisphere. The amount of daylight will now increase through the summer solstice on June 21st, just in case you didn't know that. But I wanted to get to this. Here's the radar this morning right now. Got actually some tornado watches down in Florida. Got a pretty stout little low that made its way across the Gulf of Mexico overnight and is starting to head into the Florida Peninsula now. It's going to get out over the ocean and then catch the jet stream or catch the Gulf Stream and make its way up the coast today and tonight. But it is going to be moving very rapidly. We're not going to see anything major out of this. We're going to get some rain, get some much needed rain out of it. But as far as, concerns about it being, a nor'easter or anything like that, causing any major overwash or big waves, things like that, things will be moving so fast. It's not going to create any problems for us on the beaches for the next couple of days. Here's how things look. I'm going to go back one frame here. Here's how things look. What is this? This is for 18, so 4 hours. So this is this afternoon, that low. It's kind of a first low and a set. They're kind of two little troughs that have kind of are two low pressure systems that are. Let me zoom this better out. There we go. Give you a better shot of what we're looking at. And let me kill the graphics here real quick. We'll turn on the bug. And, so you can see the lows are down right around the North Florida, Central Florida, North Florida. One that's out off the coast of Savannah, and then one back, and just a little combination of things. That's how things are supposed to look this afternoon, according to the National Weather Service. Then tonight, the low kind of consolidates as it gets off Georgia and South Carolina and then makes its way up. This is overnight tonight around 2 a.m. We do have the possibility of a few showers, maybe some thunderstorms with this as it moves up the coast. But really, it's just going to be a rain event now. And then by this time tomorrow, it's right off the state line. And then by tomorrow afternoon, it's already up off of, tomorrow evening, rather. That thing's already up off of Newfoundland. So we're not going to see this system be around all that long. That's probably the good thing. So again, we're going to get some rain. The thing I wanted to show you was here's how the winds are this morning. Seeing a little bit of, onshore breeze. That's why we're getting what we're getting as far as the waves this morning. I mean, it does look a little choppy out there, but kind of an onshore northeast component to it. By this afternoon, it's coming a little bit farther, a little bit more northeast, and picks up as we get into the afternoon. Here's tonight, and then overnight tonight as the low gets off Hatteras. But then as the low gets just to the north of Hatteras, we're going to see a very distinct shift to the northwest on the winds. And that's really what's going to help us out to not see anything. If this thing was moving much slower, we'd definitely be experiencing a true nor'easter with this. But it is moving fast enough. And by the time tomorrow afternoon, you can see the winds are still out of the northwest, but it's starting to moderate. Down on Hatteras Island, it's probably going to be the windiest. And then up on the north beaches tomorrow night, right along the beach, we might see some gusty winds. But again, it's going to be a northwest. And then by tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, that's tomorrow night, Wednesday night. Here's how the wind forecast looks Thursday morning. It's out of here. It's just a north wind, but it's not going to be all that strong. In fact, look at the 5-day forecast from the National Weather Service, and they're calling for, today, northeast about 10 to 15, tonight, 10 to 20 out of the east and becoming north after midnight, with some gusts up to 25. Then tomorrow, northwest at 15 to 20, and then north Wednesday night about 15 to 20. And then Thursday, it's slacked off to 10 to 15. So it's going to get a little bumpy out there. But again, we're not looking at anything that's going to be long lasting, anything that's going to cause any real major issues for us with this storm system moving through. Then looking ahead, it's going to be dry and sunny right on through Christmas weekend and rather moderate temperatures. The coldest we get on the beach anyway will be, looks like, Thursday night, tomorrow night, 38 tomorrow night, 40 on Thursday night. But we're going to see a high of 63 on Christmas Day. It's going to be downright gorgeous. Definitely not a white Christmas, unfortunately, but we'll take it. It's going to be rather comfortable. But all the details, we'll run through the OBX Today Weather Center forecast coming up at the tail end of the newscast here on OBX Today Live. Yesterday, Governor Cooper, Secretary Mandy Cohen, who is going to be leaving next week as Health and Human Services Secretary, going to be replaced by a new Secretary of Health and Human Services, who still has to be confirmed. But that's where is it? Cody Kinsley. I've got to learn his name because we're going to be seeing him a lot, I got a feeling, as we get into January. They held a news conference yesterday in Raleigh, and when we come back, we will have that for you here on OBX Today Live, so stay right there.
For over 15 years, Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated has been a beacon of light, guiding local families through difficult times. Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated proudly provides all families with compassionate choices for professional funeral care at reasonable prices. Get the answers you need 24 hours a day. No answering services, hidden costs, add-on fees, confusing fine print, or those scary-looking contracts. Remember, Gallup Funeral Services owns and operates the only crematory in Dare County, keeping our cremations affordable and convenient. Gallup Memorial Chapel in Bargo, North Carolina is now open and minutes from Moyock and Elizabeth City. From traditional church services and graveside burials to direct cremations and advanced planning, let Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated light the way for your family. Don't be pressured or confused by the other funeral homes. It's always your choice. Choose Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated. Call Courtney at 252-216-8030 to get a plan started today, and visit our new website at gallupfuneralservices.com.
All right, back here on OBX Today Live on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Make sure you mash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell to know whenever we go live, which usually around 8 o'clock every weekday morning. We'll be wrapping the shows up this week, Thursday, since the holiday starts for us on Friday, actually. And, of course, with Christmas falling on a Saturday, that kind of makes things kind of all around the weekend. As far as closings, you got trash schedules have all changed. Got the details for you right now at obxtoday.com. Make sure you swing by there to make sure you're up to date on who's open, who's closed, and all that stuff, and when they're open and when they're closed anyway. All right, yesterday, Governor Roy Cooper, State Health and Human Services Secretary Dr. Mandy Cohen, who is going to be leaving that position at the end of the year, and incoming Secretary Cody Kinsley had an update on how the state's handling with this explosion of cases. Cohen, pretty stark prediction that we may see 10,000 new cases a day come early January with the Omicron variant spreading rapidly now in North Carolina. So here is yesterday's press conference. We're here on OBX Today Live.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining today's briefing. We've had 10,541 new COVID cases since Friday's report. We have 1,630 people in the hospital with COVID, and sadly, 19,167 people who've died. Now, with holiday gatherings, COVID cases beginning to rise, and a new highly contagious variant on the way, we're here today with some important messages about how to keep yourself and your family protected over the next few weeks. These actions are urgent as North Carolina and the nation brace for the impact of the even more contagious Omicron variant of COVID-19. First, get boosted. If you're eligible for a booster, get one right away. I know people might want to wait until after the holidays, but don't. Get a booster as soon as possible if you're eligible. I can't stress this enough because it adds an important layer of protection, particularly against the Omicron variant. Second, get tested. If you plan to gather with family and friends, find a way to get tested before you do. Schedule an appointment or have at-home rapid tests ready. We are urging our partners to ramp up testing statewide to make it more available. And incoming North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services Secretary Cody Kinsley will share more about that in a minute. Third, get vaccinated if you hadn't done it. COVID remains a deadly risk for those who have not been vaccinated. The Omicron wave is more contagious than Delta and only weeks and maybe even a few days away. If you aren't yet vaccinated against COVID, please make the right decision and get your first shot. Lastly, when you're indoors in public, wear a mask. The Omicron variant is spreading fast, and a mask can help reduce the chance people get infected. Right now, these are the best safety precautions to avoid serious illness. Do them yourself and insist that others around you do them too. Many people are going to get infected, including some who are vaccinated. But the most important difference between vaccinated and unvaccinated is how sick you get. The evidence is clear that vaccinated and especially boosted people are so much safer. Despite these serious concerns, we are in a much stronger position this holiday season compared to last for one main reason. the remarkable COVID-19 vaccines that are saving lives every day. When I think of things I'm grateful for this Christmas, this vaccine is a big one. At this time, I'm going to ask Dr. Mandy Cohen, the Secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services, to share more information about what we know about Omicron and what people can do to protect themselves. Dr. Cohen.
Thank you, Governor. I have two messages for North Carolinians today. First, the newest variant of COVID-19, Omicron, is the most contagious we've seen yet and will likely set record high daily case numbers in the coming weeks. Second, and most importantly, you can act now to best protect yourself and your family and friends. So let's start with what we know about Omicron to date. Evidence suggests that it is 2 to 3 times as contagious as the Delta variant, making it 4 to 6 times as contagious as the original COVID-19 virus. Fortunately, early evidence suggests that illness from the Omicron variant may be less severe. However, it still can pose a danger for people who are not vaccinated, and particularly those at higher risk of severe disease. We are already seeing record high numbers of COVID-19 cases around the world, as well as in the United States. Earlier this week, New York had its highest number of cases reported in a day since the start of the pandemic. This is not, however, a moment to throw up our arms in the air. It is a moment to act. There are things we can do right now to protect people and to make sure there is enough hospital care for everyone who needs it. First, as the governor said, boosters are critical. Early evidence shows that boosters provide a significant level of protection against Omicron, and I urge everyone who's been vaccinated to get your booster as soon as you are eligible. Do not wait. Getting a booster is particularly important for people who are at high risk for severe disease. That means if you are 65 and older, you need a booster now. If you have an underlying medical condition, you need a booster now. If you live or work in a long-term care facility, you need a booster now. If you are a healthcare worker, you need a booster now. As a reminder, if you got the Moderna or Pfizer vaccine, you should get your booster at least 6 months after your second shot. And if you got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, you should get a booster at least 2 months after your shot. Second, it is not too late to decide to get vaccinated. While you won't be fully vaccinated for several weeks, with each shot, you will get more protection from severe illness, hospitalization, and death. Like Delta, Omicron will cause the most suffering among those who are not vaccinated. Third, we still need to mask. Everyone, even if you're vaccinated, should wear a mask in public indoor spaces. And if possible, wear a medical grade mask for more protection. Medical grade masks include surgical masks, procedural masks, a KN95 mask like the one I'm wearing today, or an N95. As we head into the holidays, there are additional precautions you can take to protect your loved ones and yourself. Let's first talk about traveling. You should only travel if you're fully vaccinated against COVID-19 and have had your booster. If you do travel, wear a medical grade mask, even if you're vaccinated and boosted, and you should get tested 1 to 2 days before traveling. The safest way to get together with friends and family is to make sure everyone who attends is vaccinated and boosted if they're eligible. Everyone should also get tested 1 to 2 days before gathering. Keep gatherings small and host them outdoors when possible. If you do gather inside, use a space that allows you to space out and open up windows and doors to increase airflow. And of course, if you are sick or have symptoms, do not host or attend a gathering and make sure to get tested. Today, we've released a secretarial advisory that outlines everything I just discussed. And incoming Secretary Cody Kinsley will share more about our efforts to support testing across the state, as well as support our hospitals and other healthcare partners. Based on what we've seen in other parts of the world, we're expecting to see many more cases here in North Carolina in the coming weeks and months, even among those vaccinated. However, while vaccines may not prevent some people from getting COVID-19 infection, they do provide strong protection against severe illness, hospitalization, and death. I imagine that many of you, like me, are frustrated to head into yet another holiday season under the shadow of this pandemic. However, there's a major difference this year. We have the strongest tools available to protect our health: vaccines. It's urgent to act now to protect yourself and your family and friends. Get vaccinated, get boosted as soon as you are eligible. Thank you, Governor.
Thanks, Dr. Cohen. We thought last week might be your last time at the podium, but this pandemic continues to throw us curveballs. So we appreciate your dedication right up to the end of the year. Now I'm pleased to ask Cody Kensley, the current Chief Deputy Secretary and soon-to-be Secretary of the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services, to share more about the state's work to prepare for the logistics of battling this latest surge. Cody?
Thank you, Governor Cooper and Secretary Cohen. As the Omicron variant spreads across North Carolina, we are preparing for the impact of a potential record high surge in cases and hospitalizations. To prepare, we are focusing on three things. First, protecting the most vulnerable to COVID-19, those who live in nursing homes and other long-term care facilities. Second, supporting hospitals to have enough hospital beds to serve patients sick with COVID-19 and other emergencies. Finally, ensuring North Carolinians have access to testing. We have been working closely with long-term care facilities across the state to encourage booster shots for both residents and staff. We are ensuring each facility has easy access to vaccinations and a ready partner to administer those critical shots. We want our state-operated healthcare facilities to lead by example, and they are. As of today, more than 90% of eligible residents in our state-operated long-term care facilities have received their booster. As COVID-19 infections increase, we expect cases of severe illness, particularly of unvaccinated people, to rise as well. Therefore, second, we must do what we can to maintain hospital capacity so that everyone has access to the care they need, whether that's for COVID-19 or a heart attack or a car accident or cancer treatment. Our hospitals are beginning to show signs of strain as cases grow. We have just over 20,000 inpatient beds in North Carolina. As of yesterday, 78% of them were filled. In the ICU, we're at 81% of capacity. We are working with hospital systems across the state to coordinate preparedness measures to preserve inpatient bed capacity, some of which are already going into effect. The state emergency response team is also ready to activate our system to coordinate patient transfers from overcrowded hospitals to those with available beds. And we know we will once again be calling on our frontline heroes who have gone above and beyond for almost 2 years. To protect their health, we are encouraging all hospital staff to get boosters. I want to emphasize that everyone can help protect hospital capacity by following the guidance outlined by Secretary Cohen. Vaccinate, boost, test, and mask. If you haven't gotten vaccinated, it is not too late. Finally, testing is another important tool. As Secretary Cohen outlined, testing before you gather can help slow the spread of Omicron. And if you test positive, quickly seeking out treatment can help reduce the risk of severe disease. Testing is available across the state. During the Delta wave, labs across the state were processing upwards of 86,000 tests per day with turnaround times of 1.5 days on average. Because of the work of the federal government and the private sector, we also now see significantly more at-home testing available. We are communicating closely with our testing vendors, laboratories, and the federal government to closely monitor testing supply and will work to ensure testing is available for priority populations. If you are in need of testing, there are free testing sites and home testing options readily available. Visit ncdhhs.gov/gettested, where you will find testing locations, no-cost options, and how to order home test kits. We and our partners are doing all that we can to protect those at most risk of severe illness from COVID-19 and to ensure that our hospitals are there for those who need care. I ask North Carolinians to also do their part. You can protect yourself and your family and friends by getting your booster shot as soon as you are eligible. And if you are not already vaccinated, get your COVID-19 vaccine now.
Thank you, Cody. We appreciate your team's work through the holidays to make sure that our state's prepared. I know people are frustrated and dismayed by this wave of infection right here at Christmas. But it's important to remember how far we have come in our fight against this disease. We know what works. Vaccines, boosters, testing, and masks when needed. With every dose, we're getting closer to turning the tide of this sickness and death brought on by the pandemic. And as Christmas approaches, I am grateful for the opportunity to lead the state that I love so much. My family is vaccinated and boosted, so we will get tested, then gather for food, prayer, presents, hugs, and time with each other. I am also grateful for healthcare workers, for our first responders, and all of the volunteers who keep working every day to keep us healthy and safe.
As Governor Roy Cooper, Secretary Cohen, incoming Secretary Kinsley, their news conference yesterday. Now, a couple of news items this morning. The president's expected to announce a plan today to distribute 500 million free at-home rapid tests beginning in January as a part of an attempt to double down on the spread of the Omicron variant that's hit the U.S. so close to the holidays. All right, there's a new grant program now taking applications that is now taking up through the North Carolina Department of Revenue. It's got a business recovery grant program that would issue a one-time payment to eligible North Carolina businesses that experience a significant economic loss due to COVID-19. This application period is now open and runs through January 31st. Two types of grants are available to an eligible business that suffered an economic loss of at least 20% during the pandemic. One of those is in the hospitality industry and includes eligible arts, entertainment, and recreation businesses, as well as eligible accommodation and food service businesses such as hotels, restaurants, and bars. The codes, the NAICS codes that those businesses fall under are 71 and 72. And those of you who handle that stuff know exactly what that is. There's another grant available to businesses that did not fall in those two codes and has not received any funding from other relief programs, including the PPP, the Paycheck Protection Program, the COVID-19 Job Retention Grant, and the EIDL Advance. The grant amounts a percentage of the economic loss demonstrated by the eligible business or $500,000, whichever is less. We've got details and a link to this at obxtoday.com. All right, take a break. Come back here on OBX Today Live on Facebook and YouTube. So stay right there.
For over 15 years, Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated has been a beacon of light, guiding local families through difficult times. Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated proudly provides all families with compassionate choices for professional funeral care at reasonable prices. Get the answers you need 24 hours a day. No answering services, hidden costs, add-on fees, confusing fine print, or those scary-looking contracts. Remember, Gallup Funeral Services owns and operates the only crematory in Dare County, keeping our cremations affordable and convenient. Gallup Memorial Chapel in Barco, North Carolina is now open and minutes from Moyock and Elizabeth City. From traditional church services and graveside burials to direct cremations and advanced planning, let Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated light the way for your family. Don't be pressured or confused by the other funeral homes. It's always your choice. Choose Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated. Call Courtney at 252-216-8030 to get a plan started today, and visit our new website at gallupfuneralservices.com.
Good afternoon, everyone.
When everybody's healthy in a community, you have a more productive community. We assess all our patients for mental health needs. We make referrals to mental health providers, and then in turn we can provide free medications, all the mental health medications they need through a grant that we have. With screening and preventive care, adults that are 45 and over, it's recommended that they have some type of colon cancer screening. And we do offer that to any of our patients 45 and over. We also refer all of our female patients to the health department for mammography. We collaborate with many, many local entities. We work closely with the Outer Banks Hospital and their Center for Healthy Living. We have partnerships with imaging centers where we can help people get affordable MRIs, CTs, specialist care, surgeries, x-rays. We do all our own lab work in-house. We are focusing on patients with uncontrolled diabetes, working in a partnership also with the Beach Food Pantry to get healthy food choices and really spend time educating those patients about diabetes, the foods, and exercise. So really the sky's the limit, and we will find a way to get you access and make it for a healthier tomorrow.
Welcome back to OBX Today Live on Facebook and YouTube. I'm Sam Walker on this Tuesday morning, first day of winter. We're less than, 3 hours, coming up on about 2 hours away from the start. 10:59 a.m. is when the winter solstice actually takes place. Update on that tragic fire out in Edgecombe County that's destroyed the QVC distribution center there between Rocky Mount and Tarboro. One person has died. They are still trying to determine what caused that fire, and it's still too early to know, but also they're still having to battle that fire. It's not out yet, or at least it wasn't last night. Here's more now from our friends at CBS 17 in Raleigh.
Firefighters are keeping a close eye on hotspots at the QVC distribution center in Rocky Mount.
Yeah, meanwhile, family and friends continue to mourn the loss of 21-year-old Kevon Ricks, who worked there. CBS 17's Haley Fixler is live for us outside the facility for us tonight. Haley?
Well, there's at least 2 hotspots going on right now. Fire crews have been working on it all day long. So now, not only is the company and the community starting to grieve the loss of one of their own, they're trying to figure out what happens next.
It's a total loss.
Almost 1.5 million square feet up in flames, unsalvageable.
Fires like this often leave a fingerprint. Hopefully they will be able to determine in the next short period of time.
2 days after the fire started, smoke still billows from QVC's second largest distribution center in Rocky Mount.
It was a source of pride. It provided steady jobs, steady income, steady paychecks. They've been here a little over 20 years.
So what happens now? The president of the Greater Rocky Mount Chamber of Commerce, David Ferris, says no one knows just yet. They're still in shock.
We hope that does include the strong consideration of rebuilding here.
That could take about 2 years, factoring in a massive cleanup effort and reconstruction. That's if QVC decides to stay in the area.
Frankly, I don't know of a better place for them.
In the meantime, the local economy will take a hit. The area benefited greatly from the sales tax revenue the distribution center brought in.
That's going to be substantial, but hopefully that's a temporary thing.
Right now, almost 2,000 people are without work. Local officials are now working with state leaders to ensure in the new year these displaced workers will find new jobs.
There are job openings and job opportunities, but what the mechanism that the state will put in is kind of a matchmaking where one skill set might be good for one type of manufacturing or distribution.
Now, QVC will be paying its employees through at least the end of the year. There were some workers out here today watching fire crews put out the flames in the hot spots. They didn't want to go on camera, but they told us it was absolutely heartbreaking for them to watch all of the devastation. Ivan Rock, Fixler, CBS 17 News.
All right, so that's the latest there. And again, investigators still haven't been able to get into that building yet to determine what caused that fire because of the hot spots that they've been battling since that fire on early Saturday morning. Friends over at coastalreview.org, which is the news service of the North Carolina Coastal Federation, got a story up this morning regarding some efforts that are underway down in North Topsail Beach, Surf City, and Topsail Beach, down towards Wilmington. They're among 26 coastal communities, 8 counties, and 18 municipalities in the state that are receiving grants on behalf of the Division of Coastal Management's Resilient Coastal Communities Program. Now, here on the Outer Banks, all of our local governments are participating in this. So first year of the program that aims to boost resilience efforts in the state's 20 coastal counties and encourages those who live and work along the coast to participate in finding solutions and prioritizing projects designed to help their communities bounce back from flooding and storms. Mackenzie Todd, a coastal resilience specialist with the Division of Coastal Management, explained last week that the resilience plan directs the state to establish a formal planning process to get projects in coastal communities to shovel-ready status. Topsail Island, one of the about 30 coastal community, or the Topsail Island towns, are about 30 coastal communities that applied for the program, and they've begun their discussions. One of the initial steps of the process includes establishing a community action teams that consist of representatives, including local government officials, residents, and business owners from within those counties and municipalities. They met for the first time down at Topsail in mid-October. They held 3 workshops, which the group developed a vision, established a set of goals, and identified natural infrastructure, critical assets, vulnerable populations, and hazards. Now, the natural infrastructure that they've identified down there is a New River Inlet, wetlands, public beaches, marshes, North Topsail Beach's maritime forest, Surf City's maritime forest, the New River Inlet's bird nesting islands, along with several other islands, and the Holly Shelter Game Land, which is just inland. This is what's been going on with this program across the coast here on the Outer Banks. We should be getting an update on that here in the first of the year on where things stand with that process. But I thought it was interesting. If you go to coastalreview.org, rather interesting read, just to find out what they're thinking down on the southeast coast, the south central coast of North Carolina. Very similar to what's being talked about here on our end of the coast. Wildlife officials in South Carolina say that 3 young men on vacation have been identified down on Folly Beach who dug up a marked loggerhead turtle nest and caused 71 of the 90 eggs in that nest not to hatch. The men, all identified under age 21, met with wildlife agents and admitted what they did. They won't be charged with a count of unlawful taking of the eggs. Instead, they'll face fines and community service, according to North Carolina Department of Natural Resources agents. Let's see. Renovation of the Pea Island Visitor Center, somewhere that a lot of folks drive by on a regular basis. Maybe you never stop there going down to Hatteras Island. And this past Friday, they actually had the ribbon cutting for that long-awaited ribbon cutting ceremony. Because of COVID-19, it's been one of those situations where they just could not have, or had decided they wanted to wait and delay it. But if you haven't been by or in at that visitor center, Bray House Movers came down from Camden and raised it up. They moved it back off the road a little bit more, put it up on higher pilings. Of course, as you can see with the photo I've got up there, the power lines now run behind it. From Cape Hatteras Electric Cooperative ran their power lines behind the visitor center. Of course, right across the street is where one of the weak spots now is on Highway 12. So one of the ways that they wanted to raise, or one of the things they wanted to do was raise, of course, that building because of the amount of flooding that's now taking place in that area. But they did have a ribbon cutting ceremony. We're going to have that story up at obxtoday.com. But if you swing by islandfreepress.org, you can check out some photos from that event, which took place this past Friday. It is OBX Today Live here on Facebook and YouTube. And let's see. One more thing. The town of Manteo has finalized all its plans for New Year's Eve, calling it Midnight Magic in Manteo, the New Year's Eve event with all types of great stuff, live music. We perform, Trick Fly, Johnny Waters and Company will be out there. They're going to have DJ Mix and Mike. He's going to start things off at 6. Trick Fly is going to play from 8 to 10. And then 10 to midnight is Johnny Waters and Company. There's going to be a kids countdown at 8 o'clock. Throughout the evening from 6 to 10, food vendors, kids games, and fun activities. And then fireworks light up the Roanoke Island, the Manteo waterfront at midnight on New Year's Eve. And we're going to have details for you at obxtoday.com on the Things to Do page. So if you're thinking about your New Year's Eve plans, might as well get them in place. Manteo, you're going to have it. Big party down there. That's the plan right now on New Year's Eve. All right, so one more break and be back with some sports here on OBX Today Live.
For over 15 years, Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated has been a beacon of light, guiding local families through difficult times. Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated proudly provides all families with compassionate choices for professional funeral care at reasonable prices. Get the answers you need 24 hours a day. No answering services, hidden costs, add-on fees, confusing fine print, or those scary-looking contracts. Remember, Gallup Funeral Services owns and operates the only crematory in Dare County, keeping our cremations affordable and convenient. Gallup Memorial Chapel in Bargo, North Carolina is now open and minutes from Moyock and Elizabeth City. From traditional church services and graveside burials to direct cremations and advanced planning, let Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated light the way for your family. Don't be pressured or confused by the other funeral homes. It's always your choice. Choose Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated. Call Courtney at 252-216-8030 to get a plan started today and visit our new website at gallupfuneralservices.com.
Back on OBX Today Live here on Facebook and YouTube. Let's hit up some sports. NC State men's basketball team will be fined, lose one scholarship, vacate 15 wins from 2016-17, but they will not miss out on a postseason berth if they're eligible. They're not going to be put on a postseason ban. That's coming from a long-running NCAA investigation about impermissible benefits to Dennis Smith Jr. and his family that goes back to when Mark Godfrey was the coach of the Wolfpack. Of course, now, with the NIL rules now, this would have been perfectly legal. He got $40,000. Investigators determined a former assistant coach at State accepted a $40,000 payment from an apparel company given to Smith to ensure his commitment to play for the Wolfpack. That was Adidas. That money would have been perfectly legal now under the rules. But no postseason ban for NC State with that situation. NHL is going to be getting a league-wide shutdown tomorrow amid the rise in positive COVID test results among players. With 10 of the league's 32 team schedules already paused and their facilities closed, the league announced Monday night it will open its annual holiday break 2 days earlier than scheduled and have it run through Saturday. There is question marks now whether NHL players are going to be able to play in China at the Winter Olympics because of this break, but also because of Omicron outbreak. High school basketball kind of winding down before Christmas. Just a couple of games of Wash House Classic continuing in Edenton today with Southwest Edgecombe, Camden, Riverside, Northside is at Pasquotank. College basketball, back to college basketball. We got games tonight. Today, actually, noon start in Greenville for East Carolina and Southern Miss. 7 o'clock, State plays Wright State. And then at 7 o'clock, North Carolina and Appalachian State in Chapel Hill. Bowl games yesterday. Tulsa wins all of the golf courses and seafood buffets. 30-17 over Old Dominion, the Myrtle Beach Bowl. Today, probably one of the best names in bowl games. One of the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, playing for all the potatoes in Boise or Kent State and Wyoming at 3:30. And then they're playing for all the smoothies down in Frisco, Texas. Texas, San Antonio, and San Diego State at 7:30. NFL yesterday, Vegas beat Cleveland 16-14, Minnesota over Chicago 17-9. Tonight, Washington plays at Philadelphia, while Seattle is at the LA Rams. So you got football on the brain. You got plenty of it to get to. All right, OBX Today Weather Center forecast. We talked about it at the top of the show. Quick moving coastal storm headed our way. We'll see cloudy skies today. Chance of rain, high 56, northeast winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Tonight, rain and breezy, low 48, east winds 10 to 20, shifting to the north after midnight. Could see some gusts up to 25, maybe even up to 30 at times. That's the Nags Head forecast. We'll pull the Buxton forecast real quick here. Yeah, this looks like, winds at up to 30 down Hatteras Island. On Wednesday, rain in the morning, then clearing off. High 56, northwest winds 10 to 15, gusts to 25. Clear and 40 to 38 Wednesday night with north winds 15 to 20. Thursday, sunny and 49. Friday, sunny and a high 59. Christmas Day, sunny, a high 63. Yep. Sunday, sunny and 59. Monday, sunny and 58. Here's the marine forecast today. We've got not too bad out there. It's going to get bumpy as the day goes on with northeast winds at 10 to 15 knots. 1 to 2 foot waves in the sound. Seas around 4 feet. We got water temperatures in the mid-50s on the north beaches, around 60 on Hatteras Island. Sound side running anywhere between the upper 40s to mid-50s, maybe even 60 in some spots where the sun's been shining. Next couple of days, it's probably going to drop again. Next tide change at Oregon Inlet's a high tide right now. Low tide at 3:52. Sunset tonight at 4:52. Sunrise tomorrow is at 7:08. And again, winter beginning at 10:59 this morning. So that's going to do it for OBX Today Live, presented by Gallup Funeral Services here on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Make sure you mash that like button, subscribe, hit the bell to know whenever we go live. Back with you tomorrow morning here on OBX Today Live. We'll see you.